Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. Once again, the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. Actually, it has become an act. Now we are discussing about the bill. Bill is same as act, and in bill we can detailedly discuss chapter wise about the Farmers Empowerment and Protection, or simply Farmers Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. These are the arrangement of classes, uh, definition, and what are the things that are there in this agreement is in framing an agreement and dispute settlement and miscellaneous. In farming agreement, farming agreement and its period, quality, grade and standards of farming produce, pricing of farming produce, how the pricing of farming produce is given, sale or purchase of farming produce, exemptions with respect to farming produce, sponsor, prohibited from acquiring ownership rights or making permanent modifications on farmers' land or premises, linkage of farming agreement with insurance or credit, other parties other parties to farming agreement, and alteration or termination of the farming agreement. So what is this basically farming agreement is? Let us see all the detailed discussion about this farming agreement on price assurance and farm services bill, to provide for a national framework on farming agreements that protects and empowers farmers to engage with agri-business firms, processors, wholesalers, exporters or large retailers for farm services and sale of future farming produce at a mutually agreed remunerative price framework in a fair and transparent manner, and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. See, it is basically referred to, suppose I am a farmer, have produced in my land the required produce, so for example paddy, I have produced the paddy. So in contract farming with respect to private member, what are the all the things in contract farming that I am going to some exterior trader or an exporter or the purchaser comes near me, and he will make an agreement for purchasing some amount of some tons of paddy from me from my land. So in the process I have to make agreement with the only purchaser, trader, wholesaler and both all the retailer, from retailer to business firms, with all can have an agreement with me regarding the contract farming, or regarding the uh, price negotiations for the price negotiations for my produce and all substances thereof. And in this we mutually at remunerative price, that agreed remunerative price between us both, that is we will decide at a particular price, and then we'll make an agreement that in a future date, suppose after 7 months or after 1 year, this much tons of paddy will be given to you, and this much amount of money in installments should be given to me. That is the agreement made between the farmer and also the firms. So that is the reason why all the regulations and all the facilitations that is given in the such agreements, this act will facilitate and also assure the prices for the farmers. So that is called Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill. This is mainly to empower the farmers. By why? Because all the farmers do not have the efficient knowledge to know about the to know or to deal with the repercussions made by the agreements made with the private firms, because many litigations have been taken place in the courts, and the farmers may not able to go to the courts and thereof. So the facilitation agreement of for price assurance and the farm services bill will take care all such a such a mediatorship is taken by the government in helping the farmers. So in chapter 1, this act may be called Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020. It's mainly you have to remember the price assurance agreement on price assurance and farm services. It shall be deemed to have come into force on 5th June 2020. In this act, unless the context otherwise requires, APMC yard. So here APMC yard is there. APMC yard, what is APMC yard means? Physical premises covering Agricultural Produce Market Committee yard, APMC yard, by whatever name called, established for regulating markets and trade in farming produce under any state act. Company means the company as defined on clause 20 of section 2 of the Companies Act 2013. Electronic trading and transaction platform. means a platform set up to facilitate direct and online buying and selling for conduct of trade and commerce of farming produce through a network of electronic devices and internet applications. Water farm services includes supply of seed, feed, fodder, agrochemicals, machinery and technology, non-chemical agro inputs and such other inputs for farming are called farm services. Farmer, the definition of a farmer means an individual engaged in the production of farming produce by self or by hired labor or otherwise, and includes the farmer producer organizations. So what are the farmer producer organization mean? So farmer producer organization mean an association or group of farmers by whatever name called, registered under any law or time being in force, or promoted under the scheme or program sponsored by the central government or the state government. What is the farming agreement means? A written agreement entered into between a farmer and a sponsor, or a farmer, a sponsor, or any third party prior to the production or rearing of any farming produce of a predetermined quality, in which sponsor agrees to purchase such a farming produce from the farmer and to provide the farm services. It is same as that I explained before, that is contract farming. This is the exact definition of the contract farming, that is a sponsor provides me with the money and I have to assure him that all the crop or agreed price for an agreed price I have to sell it to the sponsor. It means, so again I will read that what is a farming agreement means: written agreement entered into between a farmer and a sponsor, or a farmer, a sponsor, or any third party prior to the production or rearing of any farming produce for of a predetermined quality, in which sponsor that is in which sponsor agrees. I'll zoom it for you. In which into between a farmer and a farmer sponsor and a third party prior to the production of rearing of any farming produce of predetermined quality, in which sponsor agrees to purchase such farming produce from the farmer and to provide farm services. Explanation: for the purposes of this class, the term farming agreement, it is very important, farming agreement, the farming agreement may include trade or commerce agreement. These are some agreements that have been included, that is trade and commerce agreement, where the ownership of commodity remains with the farmer during production and he gets the price of produce on its delivery as per the agreed terms with the sponsor. That is during the time of production, that is during the watering, during the feeding, during the all the weeding, all the production work of agricultural produce, the right of the the right of the produce, the rights, ownership rights of the commodity is with the farmer, that is me. The sponsor has no right or no claim of the ownership on the commodity produced. And production agreement: what is this production agreement? Where the sponsor agrees to provide farm services either fully or partially and to bear the risk of output. Suppose he gives me suppose for a for example I'm talking, suppose for a kg 100 rupees I agreed upon price, he have to give for a kg 50 rupees prior before production, because all the input cost I have to bear, right? So as a farmer I need some agreed input amount and also the risk of the output, that is, so sponsor agrees to provide the farm services either fully or partially, that is either fully 100 rupees he will give prior to the production, or 50 before the production and 50 after the production. And next thing is bear the risk of output. See, if I according to the sponsor he gives me money and I have to do a production task. If during the production of the agricultural the commodity fails or commodity damages, the bear of the risk of the output, suppose the crop fails, so the risk of the output is also been on the sponsor, but agrees to make payment to the farmer for the services rendered by such farmer, because the risk of the output is not there, so he has to not pay for the 100 rupees amount, but the services of the farmer must be paid by him, because suppose he is not for 100 rupees 1 kg of output, I am 1 kg of the commodity I am giving to the sponsor, but what if I am unable to produce, I am unable to give that 1 rupee 1 kg for 100 rupees, he actually in general terms he should not give 100 rupees, because the crop has failed, I did not get 1 kg of 1 kg of the commodity to give him, but what he must pay is the services that have rendered for him for growing, for making that production, he must pay for that service. So that is the production agreement. And such other agreements or a combination of agreements specified above. Farming produce includes So what is the farming produce includes? It's same as in the other law. Foodstuffs including the edible oil seeds, oils, all kinds of cereals like wheat, rice or other coarse grains, pulses, vegetables, fruits, nuts, spices, sugarcane and products of poultry, piggery, goat, fish, dairy intended for human consumption in its natural or processed form, cattle fodder including the oil cakes and other concentrates, raw cotton whether ginned or unginned, cotton seeds and raw jute. Firm means, so what is firm means? Firm means a firm defined in Section 4 of Indian Partnership Act 1932. What is force majeure? Means any unforeseen external event including the flood, drought, bad weather, earthquake, epidemic, outbreak of disease, insect pests, and such other events which is unavoidable and beyond the control of the parties entering into the farming agreement. So it is very important term. Because of this only, the crop output may become damaged. That is force majeure. Notification. Notification means notification published by the central government or state government as the case may be in the official gazette, and the expression notified shall be construed accordingly. What is the person includes? An individual or a partnership firm or a company, a limited liability partnership, a cooperative society or a society or any association or a body of persons duly incorporated or recognized as a group under any ongoing programs of the central government or the state government. Prescribed means the rules and registration authority. So what is the registration authority here? Means the author notified by the state authority notified by the state government. And also the sponsor means a person who has entered into the farming agreement with the farmer to purchase a farming produce. State includes the union territory. Also includes the union territory. Now the farming agreement in detail. Farming agreement and its period. A farmer may enter into the written agreement. A farmer may enter into the written farming agreement in respect of any farming produce, and such agreement may provide for the terms and conditions for supply of such produce. That is, what I am going to produce, that must be that must be given mentioned in the agreement, including the time of supply, quality, grade, standards, price, and such other matters, etc. The terms related to the supply of farm services, provided that supply of farm services, that is how much service I am rendering and how much what production cost that I am incurring, all this such thing must be mentioned, provided that responsibly for compliance of any legal requirement for providing such farm services shall be with the sponsor or farm service provider as the case may be, provided that the responsibility of compliance of any legal requirement for providing the farm services shall be with the sponsor or the farm service provider as the case may be. That is, whole the responsibility of the agreement shall be between the two parties. No farming agreement shall be entered into by a farmer under this section in derogation of any rights of sharecropper. See, this is the sharecropper. That is an important term. That is, a farmer who is being whose land is being shared. The farming agreement is not shared with the sharecropper. That is in derogation of any rights of the sharecropper. He may use other land, but no farming agreement shall be entered into by a farmer under this section in derogation of any rights of a sharecropper. That is, both his partner must the rights of his partner must not be derogated. For the purposes of this subsection, the term sharecropper means tiller or occupier of farm land who formally or informally agrees to give fixed share of crop or to pay fixed amount to the landowner for growing or rearing of farming produce. That is, you can also know that that is owner, that is means a tiller or occupier or a farmland who formally or informally agrees to give a fixed share of crop or pay fixed amount to the landowner for growing or rearing of farming produce. That is, a farmer, either owner or a worker or an occupier. Suppose I own a land, some other external person want to farm in my land. He pays me a share of crop or fixed amount to the landowner, that is myself, and he uses it for the sharing cropping purpose, my land for the cropping purpose. The minimum period of the farming agreement shall be one crop season. The minimum period will be one crop season or one production cycle of livestock, as the case may be, and the maximum period shall be 5 years. So it is mentioned the maximum period of the is 5 years. Provided that where the production cycle of any farming produce is longer and may go beyond 5 years. In such a case, maximum period of farming agreement may be mutually decided by the farmer and the sponsor and explicitly mentioned in the farming agreement. The act accordingly it gives the maximum period till 5 years, but if the production cycle is long and agreed upon by the farmer, both the farmer and sponsor are agreed to it, then they can extend the production cycle and should be mentioned in the farming agreement. For the purposes of facilitating farmers to enter into the written farming agreements, the central governments may issue necessary guidelines along with model farming agreements in such a manner as it deems it fit. See the suppose you are going to write an exam for a given questions, you practice some model papers, right? Similar to that, the agreement the government is going to release or write some farming agreements for the model farming agreements to facilitate the farmers as a guidelines or a guide from the central government on what is this quality grade. And now comes to quality. The parties entering into the farming agreement may identify and require as condition for the performance of such agreement compliance with mutually acceptable quality grade and standards of farming procedure. That is, suppose on an agreed quality, that is both who farmer and sponsor will agree, both farmer and sponsor will agree to a desired quality, like this quality should be maintained in my output. The sponsor wants such quality, so it must be assured by the farmer, the quality must be assured by the farmer, and also the quality standards should also be mentioned in the farming agreement so as to identify and require the condition of performance of such agreement. For the purposes of this subsection, parties may adopt the quality grade and standards which are compatible with the agronomic practices, agroclimatic and such other factors formulated by agency of state government or central government or agency authorized by such government for this purpose, and explicitly mention such quality grade and standards in farming agreement. See, my sponsor want to some other additionally international high standard, he want to use international high standard fertilizers, high standard inputs for the ingredients for the farming, ingredients for the plants, and all the fodder he brings, but whatever he brings, it must not be used by the farmer, because whatever he bought should be legal, should be made legal, or should be compatible with the state government practices or any agency authorized by such government, and explicitly mention such quality grade and standards in the framing agreement. So whatever the standards and quality should be mentioned in the farming agreement. The quality grade and standards for pesticides, residue, food safety standards, good farming practices, and labor and social development standards may also be adopted in the farming agreement. As I told, the parties entering into farming agreement may require as a condition that such mutually accepted quality, grade and standards shall be monitored and certified during the process of cultivation or rearing or at the time of delivery by third party qualified assayers to ensure the impartiality and fairness. What is this clause is nothing but a third party can check the quality of an output at the time of the delivery to further impartiality and the fairness. Pricing. Now coming to pricing, the price to be paid for the purchase of farming produce may be determined and mentioned in the farming agreement itself, and in case such price is subject to variation, then agreement shall explicitly provide for guaranteed price to be paid for such produce, a clear price reference for any additional amount over and above the guaranteed price, including the bonus or premium, to ensure the best value to the farmer, and such price reference may be linked to the prevailing prices in specified APMC yard or electronic trading and transaction platform or any other suitable benchmark prices. See, it is nothing but provided that the method of determining such prices or guaranteed prices or additional amount shall be annexed to the farming agreement. Suppose I am buying a kilo onions at 100 rupees kilo today, but in the future 100 rupees kilo will decrease to the 50 rupees kilo, who knows. So at that time 50 rupees kilo, if sponsor want to give only 50 rupees a kilo, then the current today farmer will bear a loss. So that should not be the case. In that, if an additional point can be raised. For example, today today tomato cost 50 rupees a kilo, and then in the future it raises. There is a prediction of rising the prices of the tomatoes in the future. Then in the agreement you can write that if suppose the prices are raised, I will give you a bonus of this percentage of bonus will be given to you, or like that. That must be clearly mentioned in the farming agreement for the benefit of, for the mutual benefit, but not only of the farmers but also the of the sponsor who is involving in the farming agreement with the farmer. Because suppose today's price is 50 rupees, in the future on a particular day, on a particular time, it grows to the 100 rupees per kilo. Suppose in today's agreement it is mentioned that per kilo 50 rupees plus some additional bonus will be given at the time of the delivery. If the price rise, obviously the price is raised, some bonus will be given to the farmer. It is mentioned, if that is mentioned in the farming agreement, in the future when the delivery, when the commodity is out for delivery, when the farmer also will not feel that he is totally in loss, because the price rose it from 50 to 100. So why I have to give to the sponsor? I can sell it directly in the profits to the in the market for 100 rupees. So you should not think like that, because he had came into, he had been into the farming agreement, right? So what does he perform is that he will get additional bonus for coming into this agreement. Instead of loss, he will get some bonus from the sponsor. So such a clear price and the guaranteed price plus the bonus amount of the guaranteed price, including the bonus or premium, must be included in the farming agreement itself for the mutual benefit of both sponsor and farmer. Now, sale or purchase of the farming produce, where under the farming agreement the delivery of any farming produce is to be taken by the sponsor. At the farm gate, he shall take such delivery within the agreed time effected by the farmer. It shall be responsibility of the sponsor to ensure that all the preparations from the timely acceptance of such delivery had been made. That is, under the framing agreement, the delivery of any farming produce is to be effected by the farmer. It shall be the responsibility of the sponsor itself. That is, if the due to the time delay, the crop has been failed, so who is the responsibility? It is taken by the entirely by the sponsor, both from the farm gate to all the transport cost, all the transportation cost, everything must be taken by the sponsor. Everything must be taken by the sponsor. So it decreases the burden of the farmer. Sponsor may, before accepting the delivery of any farming produce, inspect the quality or any other feature of such produce as specified in the farming agreement. Otherwise, he shall be deemed to have inspected the produce and shall have no right to retract from acceptance of such produce at the time of its delivery or thereafter. That is, before the delivery itself only, during the delivery itself only, before accepting the delivery only, he must check the quality. Once accepting the delivery, once after accepting the delivery, quality check is nothing to do with the money. Sponsor shall, where the farming agreement relates to seed production, make payment of not less than 2/3 of the agreed amount of time of delivery and remaining amount after the due certification, but not later than 30 days after of delivery. In other cases, make payment of agreed amount at the time of accepting the delivery of farming produce and issue a receipt slip with details of sale proceeds. That is, see, the sponsor, what he does, where the farming agreement relates to seed production. Suppose I need seed production. For a seed production, 2/3 payment must be 2/3 of the agreed amount at the time of the delivery must be paid in the beforehand for the which relates to the seed production, and the remaining amount is done after the certification and given a 30 days gap. The seed certification, after the amount after the seed certification, it must be given a time. So what is the time? 30 days after the delivery of the seeds, after the certification, what maximum amount you can wait is 30 days, but not after the 30 days. Before the 30 days itself, you have to pay the amount, the 1/3 amount, because 2/3 amounts you are prior giving for the seed production. In the prior itself, you are giving the 2/3 of the agreed amount, right? 1/3 of the agreed amount you have to give after the certification. Maximum time you can wait is 30 days of delivery. In other cases, the make payment agreed amount, in other cases it is routine. The state government may prescribe the mode and manner in which the payment shall be made to the farmer under the subsection, either in cash or in online or in any mode of transport. The state government will prescribe that. where a farmer agreement has been entered into in respect of any farming produce under this act, such produce shall be exempt from the application of any state act by which by whatever called name established for a purpose of regulation of sale and purchase of farming produce. Exemptions with respect to farming produce. So what are the farming produce exceptions? Where farming agreement has been entered into in respect of any farming produce under this act. Suppose I, with the help of this act, entered into a farming agreement, such produce shall be exempt from the application of any state act. The produce which have been produced after entering into this agreement will not come under any state act produce, notwithstanding anything contained in the Essential Commodities Act 1955 or in any control order issued thereunder or in any other law for a time being in force, any obligation related to stock limit shall not be applicable to such quantities of farming produce and all as are purchased under a farming agreement entered into accordance with the provisions of this act. So this is the main disturbing act. What is this act tells us is, suppose, what is Essential Commodities Act? First thing we have to understand is, suppose rice, paddy, all the agricultural commodities are they are categorized into Essential Commodities Act. Without those, the market fluctuations in the prices may happen and inflation may rise, food inflation may rise. So some items are in the food inflation, such items are which are in the Essential Commodities Act list. Those items must not be stocked more than the stock limit prescribed by the Essential Commodities Act. Suppose if you stock more than the quantity prescribed in the Essential Commodities Act of a particular commodity, then it must be crime of for storing such an items excess the limit. But what is the exemption it is giving? What is the exemption from this act it is getting? How if a sponsor and a farmer we entered into this farming agreement, all the commodity, all the farming produce which are the output of such farming agreement, all the produce which are produced by the farmer does not comes into Essential Commodities Act. It is very major step that has been taken by the government. That is, suppose a big businessman and my farmer, we both come into an agreement in some 10 hectares and whole paddy and whole and nearly a whole tomatoes, agricultural potatoes, onions, everything is growing in my 10 hectares of land. So if in the 10 hectares of land, all the 10 hectares I'm entered into the farming agreement with some big firm, so that big firm will not enter in all the produce that I have produced in this 10 hectares of land, because I have entered into this farming agreement with the big firm, right? So all the produce of my 10 hectares of land will not come into the Essential Commodities Act. That is, that big firm, that is the sponsor, who is a big businessman, can store, that is, he can store the all the commodities, all the produce that has been obtained from my land, 10 hectares of land, that is obtained or produced by me from the 10 hectares of land, if this agreement, farming agreement or contract farming is made. So this is a big step. So, notwithstanding anything contained in the Essential Commodities Act or in any control order issued thereunder or in any other law for the time being enforced, any obligation related to stock limit shall not be applicable to such quantities of farming produce as are purchased under the farming agreement entered into in accordance with the provisions of this act. So, in my opinion, this provision, this exemption from the Essential Commodities Act can be some type of incentivizing the private firms to hold the stocks, to hold the huge stocks which enter into the contract farming with the farmers, who can hold the huge stocks and can inflate the market. No farming agreement shall be entered into for the purpose of any transfer, including the sale, lease, or mortgage of land or premises of the farmer. raising any permanent structure or making any modifications on the land or premises of the farmer unless the sponsor agrees to remove such structure or to restore the land to its original condition at his cost or on the conclusion of the agreement or expiry of the agreement period as the case. That is, sponsor prohibited from acquiring ownership rights or making permanent modifications on the farmer's land or premises. It is given, no farming agreement shall be entered into for a purpose of this. No agreement should be mentioned. That is, for damaging or for changing one's land structure, the ownership rights only vest with the farmer, not the sponsor, provided that where such structure is not removed as agreed by the sponsor, the ownership of such structure shall vest with the farmer. Ownership of such structure shall vest with the farmer, and after conclusion of the agreement or expiry of the agreement period, as the case may be. A farming agreement may be linked with insurance or credit instrument under any scheme of center. A farming agreement may be linked with insurance or credit instrument under any scheme of central government or state government or any financial service provider to ensure risk mitigation and flow of credit to the farmer or sponsor, or both. Linkage of farming agreements with insurance or credit, that is, by taking that receipt, by taking that farming agreement, he can go to the bank and also take loans, because of this farming agreement he is going to get profit, or he is going to get in future some money. So with the help of this farming agreement, he can approach both the banks and financial service provider for some money or a loan. Save Save as otherwise provided in this act, an aggregator or farm service provider may become a party to the farming agreement, and in such a case the role of services of such aggregator or farm service provider shall be explicitly mentioned in such farming agreement. That is, some third parties to the farming agreement, if it is there, that must be mentioned in the farming agreement. Who is an aggregator? Means any person, including the farmer producer organization, who act as an intermediary between a farmer or a group of farmers and a sponsor, and provides aggregation related services to both farmers and sponsor. Farm service provider means any person who provides farm services at any time after entering into farming agreement. The parties to such agreement may, with mutual consent, alter or terminate such agreement for a reasonable cause. That is, alteration or termination of farming agreement can only be done with the help of the mutual consent. A state government may notify a registration authority to provide for electronic registry for that state that provides facilitative framework for registration of the farming agreement. The farming agreement which myself, farmer, and with the sponsor, with the sponsor and I have made some farming agreement, right? That agreement must be registered with the state government registration authority. State government registration authority will register our farming agreement. The constitution, composition, powers and functions of the registration authority, everything will be looked by the state government. Now the third chapter deals with the dispute settlement. So if a dispute is there between me and my sponsor, so how to settle the dispute? Every farming agreement shall explicitly provide for conciliation process and formation of conciliation board. So again here it is also mentioned, conciliation board. In the previous law also I have seen this. Which law? Farmers Commerce and Trade Facilitation Bill 2020. We have seen this conciliation board consisting of representatives of the parties to the agreement. Here consisting of representatives, their district magistrate along with he will constitute some board of officers, conciliation board for the dispute settlement, provided that representation of the parties in such conciliation board shall be free and balanced. Okay. A dispute arising of any what is this mechanism for dispute resolution? How the mechanism is allowed? A dispute arising from any farmer agreement shall be first referred to the conciliation board. Okay, and means the first it will go into the confirmation conciliation board formed as per the provisions of the farming agreement, and every endeavor shall be made by such board to bring about settlement of such dispute, where in respect of any dispute a settlement is arrived during the course of conciliation proceedings, memorandum of settlement shall be drawn accordingly and signed by the parties to such dispute, and such settlement shall be binding on the parties. that is any MOU or MOS shall be signed if it is settled only, then only with respect to if settlement is arrived, then only this all the memorandum of settlement or conciliation proceedings, after that only it is signed and agreed and shall be binding on the parties. Again you should not come if I a memorandum of settlement have signed, then again I have problem. No, that is not entertained. Where the farming agreement does not provide for conciliation process as required under subsection 1 of clause 13, or parties to the farming agreement fail to settle their dispute under the subsection within the period of 30 days. That is, if the parties if the conciliation board does not settle within 30 days, then such party, that is if myself and some sponsor went to the conciliation board, but that does not, still 1 month finished, still our dispute has been not been settled, then we can go to the SDM, there are collector we can go to and argue, we can put our dispute in front of him. On receipt of a dispute under subsection 1, the subdivisional authority may if the farming agreement did not provide for conciliation process. See, it is also given that farming agreement should also provide for a conciliation process, constitute a conciliation board for bringing out settlement for such disputes, or the parties fail to settle their disputes through conciliation process, decide the dispute in summary manner within 30 days from the date of receipt of such dispute, after giving the parties a reasonable opportunity of being heard, and pass an order for recovery of amount under the dispute with such penalty and interest as it deems fit, subject to the following conditions, namely, where sponsor fails to make the payment of the amount due to the farmer, such penalty may extend to 1/2 times of the amount due. Where the order is against the farmer for recovery of amount due to the sponsor on account of any advance payments or cost of inputs as per the terms of the farming agreement, such amount shall not exceed the actual cost incurred by the sponsor. Where that is where the farming agreement is in dispute, is in contravention of the provisions of this act, or default by the farmer is due to the force majeure, that is some external causes, rainfall, hazardous tsunami, all the things, then no order for recovery of amount shall be passed against the farmer. So it is nothing but what are the options given to the SDM for the process, for the conciliation process. Every order passed by the subdivisional authority under this section shall have same force as a decree of the civil code, that is civil court equal order, that is indirectly CPC 99, unless appeal is preferred under subsection 4. Okay, any party, aggrieved party, suppose I still don't satisfy, I did not settle with the decision of the subdivisional authority, then you can go to the collector or additional collector within 30 days from the date of such order from the subdivisional authority. The appellate authority, same, this is the appellate authority and appellate authority procedure and the code of civil procedure code, again how to reach them, amount payable under the order passed by subdivisional authority to the appellate authority, recovered arrears of land revenue, this is all the process. This all these process is already discussed in the Farmers Trade and Commerce Facilitation Bill 2020. In the previous video I already discussed this, what is the procedure for the dispute settlement. So this is all the same. In miscellaneous, if you will see, the central government may from time to time give directions as it may consider necessary to the state governments for effective implementation of the provisions of this act, and the state government shall comply with such directions. Simply we can read this: power of the central government to give directions to the state government authorities under the act to be public servants. See, this registration authority is there, right, and subdivisional authority, these must be public servants. Those are not like ordinary people. Protection of protection of action taken in the good faith. So whoever the judgment is given, but it must give the in good faith, satisfying this act. So what is the whole pith and substance of this act must be taken into consideration, and judgment or order must be passed in a good faith. And a bar of jurisdiction on civil court, and so you cannot go to the civil court with respect to these matters, and act to have an overriding effect. Similarly, the state laws can be have an overriding effect with the help of this law, and act not to apply stock exchanges, clearing corporations. These stock exchanges will this act will not apply to the stock exchanges and clearing corporations, and power of central government to make rules. Any changes in this act is only done by the central government. So that is all the thing about this act. And one more thing, power of the state government to make rules. So this is state government has also got some powers to make some mode of payment and some all the things, and power to remove difficulties is also with the state and central government. The power to remove difficulties is with central government, and also the repeals and savings. So these all the things is with the central government. That's it. So this is about the all the things we have already discussed in the Farmers Trade and Commerce Protection Bill 2020. That is, it has become an act now. So this is all about the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill. This is all about that.